In this video, we're going to be talking about the general journal. So what we have been doing is we've been doing transaction tables, but in practice, that doesn't actually happen. So when a transaction occurs, what accountants do, they enter that transaction into a general journal. So I'm going to show you in this video how to move these transactions from a transaction table into a general journal. So a general journal looks something like this here. The first thing you do in the general journal is you put the business name. So let's say Journal of A. Webster for this example. The next thing you do in the date column is you put the year. So let's say it's 2016. Then, once this is set up, we go ahead and we process our first transaction. So we're going to do this one on May 1. So in the date, we put May 1. In the particulars, this is where the accounts go. So the two accounts involved are Cash at Bank and Capital. We enter one at a time. So I'm going to put here Cash at Bank. Now the amount, Cash at Bank, it's a debit amount of $10,000. So I'm going to put in here $10,000 debit. The next account affected was Capital. So I'm going to put Capital here. The capital amount is a credit for $10,000. So $10,000 in this credit column. You'll notice as well that debits always must equal credits. After this, we're not quite finished. We have to put a narration. So this is a description of the transaction. So in this case, the owner deposited $10,000. So owner deposited $10,000. Now you'll notice a couple of things about this journal entry, and there's some rules that we need to follow. The first rule is the debit always goes first. So you can see here my debit entry, I entered first. The second is the credit entry always has to be indented. So you notice this space here, that is just a convention as well. And the last rule is there always has to be a narration, which is this thing in brackets under the transaction. So they're the three rules you need to follow when you're entering, when you're putting entries into the journal. Let's do another one now, May 2nd. So we don't have to put the year or the month again because it's the same month. All we need to do is put the date. We'll leave a space here, so I'm going to put 2nd. The transaction, you can see over here, we need to put this debit first of 220, so that's Cash at Bank. So I'm going to put Cash at Bank for $220. Then you can put your credit entries. So I'm going to put now sales revenue of $200, sales revenue of $200, and then GST collected of 20. GST collected of $20. You can see here that my debits equal my credits. The last thing I need to do is put my narration on. So my narration is cash sales. So I can just write here cash sales, close brackets. Have a go at this final transaction yourself before I put it in here for you. So you can see the final entry here, my solution to it. I've got May 4, my two debit entries, so inventory and GST credits received. They are not indented. The only indented entry is my credit, which is accounts payable. And you can see here, these two amounts equal this amount here.